You hear about this all the time from every financially wise person. Save all the money you can, invest it into index funds and lower risk growth stocks. Do this for the next 15 to 20 years and you'll eventually become a millionaire slash financially independent slash whatever keyword is the most popular in the finance sphere at the moment. Everybody in the personal finance sphere seems so obsessed with the possibility of being freed from the metaphorical shackles of having to work because apparently that's heaven on earth. And once you'll get there, you'll be happy forever. So obviously, sacrificing the next 15 to 20 years of your life is worth the prize waiting for you at the finish line, without a doubt. But let's examine this thought process for a bit. If you're a human being, then your goal in life is probably to be satisfied. Some get their satisfaction by being a happy person in general, others by being an accomplished person, others by non-Christian friendly ways that I'm not gonna get into here because this is a YouTube video, etc. And if you ask most people if being financially independent would make their life more satisfying, 99% of people would probably answer with, obviously it would. So the reason behind the FIRE movement is pretty easy to understand. You sacrifice time now to get more money, then reinvest that money to the point where you're financially independent and have as much time for you as you want in the future. So let's say you stick with this FIRE movement thing. You started on your journey at age 25. You lived frugally for 15 years, invested all your spared money in great opportunities, and now you've reached your financial goals at age 40. Great job! You pick up all the hobbies you dropped when you were 25, you travel the world for a while, and it's great, it's fun. But then it gets a bit bland. The novelty of being in a foreign land with people that don't speak your language wears off. You really can't play football or go hard in the gym like you used to, because now if you do so, your knees activate lock-in mode and your back hurts for a week straight. Plus, you've spent your whole life working towards a goal, striving towards an ideal, so you've transformed into a goal-oriented person. And this whole running around following your whims and wishes thing just feels so shallow, so pointless. If you don't believe me, go around and look at people who have founded their companies and achieved a great deal of liquidity that enabled their early retirement. They all went through this exact process. They came up with a great business plan, they made it big, sold their company, and retired for 1 to 2 years. And then, without fault, they all come right back to the work world they're retired from, even though they still have just as much money, if not more, than they retired with. So my whole point is this: if 99% of the people that retired early eventually went back to the workforce under no financial obligation to do so, what makes the time sacrifice worth it? If you'll eventually go back to your old ways, why would you not only waste 15 years of your life, but also 15 years of your young adult life, just to try and reach some financial milestone and claim yourself as a financially free person? A lot of people will answer with this: I work at McDonald's, so trust me when I tell you that I'm not coming back to my job after retiring early. So here's what we should do. Let's divide this into 3 categories of people who are aiming for early retirement. First, those with a dead-end job they want to escape. Secondly, those with a job which could be enjoyed under the right circumstances. And thirdly, those who just don't like to work. So let's start with that first category. Here's how I understand it. Your job is not satisfying and it's just a way for you to make ends meet, and that's why you hate it. So what you plan on doing is spending even more time at this job you hate for the next 15 years of your life, while also living as frugally as possible, preventing yourself from enjoying your money, just for the dream of amassing enough money to be freed from this position. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you hate your job and are motivated enough to sacrifice that much time into getting rid of it, wouldn't it make more sense to just switch jobs? Wouldn't it be easier, for example, just learn how to code in your free time for the next 3 years and land a better job with a healthier work-life balance and benefits package? Plenty of people have done it before you, plenty of people will do it after you, make more money, but also actually enjoy your time and don't have to sacrifice it for a theoretical future happiness. Now let's move on to the second category, which is people with jobs that are supposed to be fulfilling but are not for them. If you're in this situation, your reason for being a FIRE adopter is probably the feeling of external obligation. You have to get up Monday morning. You have to do what your boss tells you. You have to do these tasks and missions they really don't care about. And I understand those concerns, but my point is this: before sacrificing 15 youthful years of your life, think about this. Do you want to retire early? Or do you just need a different working environment? Try finding a healthier job environment, something with a better work-life balance, or a job with a 4-day work week. Maybe your current company just doesn't have the right culture for you, or the managers commit the deadly sin of micromanaging, or maybe you're just bored of your current position. Before deciding to sacrifice the next 15 to 20 years of your life, maybe try finding a job where you won't feel like you're wasting your time first. Now finally, we have the category of people who just don't like working, and I get that. I get where they were coming from. I even identified with those people for the longest period in my life. Work sucks. That's why it's called work. There's work, and then there are things that are actually enjoyable. The human condition is cruel that way, and only those who are lucky enough to get their finances right are excluded from this tragedy. I used to have that same exact mindset. But here's the thing. When you ask those people what do they enjoy doing, they'll probably tell you stuff like, oh, I like to learn a new language, I like to travel the world, I like to cook good meals, etc. And here's the kicker, those are hobbies that could be considered work. Learning a new language takes so much mental effort. Traveling the world is a logistical nightmare. Cooking good meals demands patience and mastery. Those are all activities that could be considered work. The only difference is, once again, obligation. You felt obligated to study hard and go to college to have that good job. You felt obligated to keep that good job to not end up homeless. So your problem with work is not the effort that it takes. Clearly, since you don't mind putting effort into things you actually enjoy. It's the sense of obligation. So you're just like the people in the other category. You just haven't found a paid activity you don't feel obligated to do. And here's why I'm so confident about this idea. In my college days, during my financial and satisfaction-lacking era of summer internships, I picked up this silly-looking little book called Flow. In this, the author goes around exploring what makes humans happy, and to make a long story short, they found one common theme around the world: pursuit of flow experiences. Experiences that are challenging enough to make you engage, but not so hard they make you lose hope. And guess how this flow experience is achieved? By putting in work, honing your craft, and taking ownership for your activities, aka no more feelings of obligation. My whole point throughout this video is this: work isn't what's making you unhappy. In fact, under the right circumstances, it could be the exact opposite. Work can be a source of pleasure, and the time you spend there will feel like time well spent. And I know this feels far-fetched for those of you who are in the past categories that I've mentioned, but this is true. This could be your life. So please, do not waste your valuable time and efforts on an escape strategy that will become worthless after you've reached your destination. Instead, maybe consider this new effortless approach to the FIRE lifestyle that doesn't demand huge time sacrifices. Keep your expenses low, of course, but don't hesitate to spend money on experiences that will potentially become core memories down the road. Find a job you like, maybe something with 4 work days a week, so you not only have even more time for yourself, but also actually enjoy the time you spent at work. Consider this as a loan on your time instead of your money. With this strategy in mind, you'll probably still have enough money to retire before the age of 60, yet you'll have enjoyed your time every step along the way. And isn't that the real goal after all?